Why are you laughing?
Cause you were.
I need you to look at the camera. The people need to see your face and wave to the people. Say, hey, y'all.
Huh?
Say, hey, y'all.
Nah.
Hey, y'all, I got Zion with me today. We're going to walk around and do a quick Tuesday tally. I don't know why he's acting shy. He said he wanted to do this, but now I'm not quite so sure. So let's just jump right into it. All right. So you want to tell the people what we're looking at here?
I don't know what that is.
What is it? What do we plant here in these green stalks?
Right?
Potatoes.
Potatoes.
You want to tell the people about the potatoes? What kind of potatoes we got planted in here?
The good one.
The good ones. Okay. Yeah. So we have some Purple Majesty and we have some Austrian Crescent. There was a video we recorded putting these in. Don't you remember walking past the video several times while I was planting these?
Oh, no.
No. Okay, you want to show the people update on the tomatoes? What you want to tell them about the tomatoes?
They're growing.
The tomatoes are growing. Yes, they are growing. But which one is not growing?
None of them. Oh, that one. No, that one's growing.
And what's that one called?
The tomato.
What's the name of it? I complain about it every single day. What's the name of that one? Woolly Kate. Woolly Kate does not perform like the rest of the tomatoes. I don't know if it's our environment, if it's too warm here. I don't know because it's just not doing what the rest of them are doing. Everything else is growing. We got a couple of them that have a little bit of calcium and magnesium deficiency. You can see in the loss of color on the leaves on a few of them. Not all of them. I think there's about 4 or 5. And we have 20 different varieties. The lettuces are still doing pretty good. They still taste good. I nibble on them every now and again, but I'm going to go ahead and start preparing to pull those because it's just getting too hot to be fooling around with lettuce, even though I have them growing in the garage. Still need to get some cleanup going on here. I have a couple of native plants popped in here just so that the sprinklers will hit them and keep them alive. Still trying to decide where I want to put my tree. I think I want to put it in the back in the peninsula bed, but I'm not sure yet. So it's just going to sit here for another week or two. I got a really busy week coming up and I don't have a whole lot of time to fumble around in the garden and have some fun. What's this, Zion? Zion, do you pay attention to anything that I plant?
No.
Oh, Jesus Christ. The okra is doing pretty good. Also, the beans and the squashes that I planted in these grow bags are doing pretty good. All of the squashes have come up. That one is a squash. These beans have come up. And each one of these grow bags has a different squash. That one just germinated the other day. This one's a little bit further behind. That one will probably get pulled. And then the two that were planted in here obviously are doing great. The peppers that I put in this container, I finally took the cage off of it. Those are doing pretty good. That's a poblano and a, I can't remember the name of it. What is it? Pasilla Bajillo, something like that. It's a Spanish name. I don't know. I don't speak Spanish. So that's the best I can do. Come on, Zion. Are you going to trim these hedges? Zion doesn't want to trim the hedges. I still need to get to these hedges, and I'm going to get that done. My sprinklers have not been hitting my plants over here. They have been sitting in the containers, so they are getting a little crispy. Fortunately, I don't pay a whole lot for them. They are natives, so they are pretty affordable. This bed needs a little bit of cleanup. My irises are coming back. The ones in the back bed are actually about to bloom. So I don't know why these are so far behind. I've got to check on them and see what's going on. The beauty berry is starting to make some blooms and berries going on here. So good stuff, good stuff. I don't know what's going on down here. This needs to be cleaned up. Zion, you want to weed this bed for me?
I'll trim the hedges.
You'll trim the hedges. Okay, y'all heard him. He's going to trim the hedges. You got to do these also when you trim them. All right. I'm going to record him trimming the hedges, and we're going to see what's going to happen with that. It's kind of frightening. The Swiss chard and the roses and the daylilies are all doing really, really good here. I did plant some beans and a popping corn back here. This is a major experiment. I have never grown popping corn before, and this really is not the best place. I planted them in the 3 cells in the back in the concrete blocks, but just to see if I could get it to work, I will have to hand pollinate because there are only 6 corn seeds down there. The Swiss chard is doing good. Zion has found himself a seat in the chair. He's supposed to be doing the Tuesday tally with me. I'm not really sure what's going on with that. The green stalk is looking pretty good. I have checked and don't have any of the red potatoes coming up yet in here, but everything else that I planted is doing really good. The collards and kales that I put in, you should be able to see them through the screen down on that bottom row. These guys are doing excellent. They have, I guess, quadrupled in size since I planted them in the green stalk. All right, Zion. What's this plant called?
I don't know.
Zion.
Wait, a vine plant.
It is a vine, but what kind of vine? We don't eat this one, but it's a type of food. But we don't eat this one. It's an ornamental. What's it called? Sweet potato vine.
Oh, yeah.
That's an ornamental sweet potato vine, and it is doing the most. I have started training it back up on the trellis after having to cut it down. It's doing pretty good. The pink jatropha. I have not been happy with the pink jatropha since I put it in. It does not leaf out the way I want it to. I am going to try a hard prune, but now that it's blooming, I don't want to hard prune it. So we'll wait until after it is finished blooming. The licorice plant is doing really, really nice. I need to go ahead and do some trimming down the bottom because I have some. Can you lift up the bottom there? There's some plants underneath there. You see them? That one right there. Can you lift that section up? You see that? That is a Gerbera daisy, and there's another one that's here. They are struggling because the licorice plant is swallowing them. The strawberries are doing pretty good. I actually had to fight off a bird that came by and ate one that was hanging here. It was just starting to color up, and I said I'm going to leave it for a little while and let it finish ripening. I took 4 others and had a little snack out in the garden, but that bird decided that it was going to hop up here and eat it. I'm surprised he's not trying to get this one because this one is about as ripe as the one that was at the top. But the one at the top was 3 times this size. True Friendship Rose is back in bloom. I need to do a little something with it. Contemplating moving it, but it has been happy in this spot. And so I'm just kind of watching it to see what happens. The rose here is Caribbean Breeze. It is looking the best it has ever looked since I put it in. And so I don't want to move that one. Of course, that one is a peach bloom. I'm going to go ahead and do some cutback on the celery because everything here has now gone bitter because it has been so hot. But I am impressed with the growth on the celery. It was quite tasty before it started to go bitter. It is a perennial plant, so I'm going to cut it back and let it grow some new stalks. This is still a mess. I don't know what I'm gonna do over here, my neighbor's dogs are spazzing out because another neighbor is walking their dogs. So sorry about that noise. I don't know what I'm gonna do over here, but it needs a major cleanup. I need to get in here, especially to clean up in here. The agapanthus is gonna have a hard time pushing blooms through this. A rose of Sharon here that seems to be doing pretty good in this spot. That is a Ruellia. Yes, it's a weed. We need to pull that out, but we got to pull it all the way from the base. And so you can just leave it there for now. The Snow Queen is doing nice. The tomatoes that I put in here are doing pretty good. I did fertilize all of my tomatoes this past week, except for these two. I don't know. Did I do those two? Actually, I think I did. I gave them some water soluble fertilizer. The pansies are starting to die back. It is extremely hot. The Phaeus is in bloom, and it is such a pretty, pretty bloom. It is known commonly as a nun's hood orchid, and I do have two of them. And that's the other one.
There's a big mushroom over here.
Yeah, don't mess with it. We have the neighbor's cat who likes to come for a visit, and my kids are both fascinated by it. My daughter's out here. Say hello to the people.
Hi.
Oh my gosh, the pomelo is blooming, and I didn't know that. We got some spiders doing some stuff up here. Maybe I'll get some pomelos this year. It has been dropping its blooms the past couple years, and if it did fruit, it would drop. I'm pretty sure it's just because I was not fertilizing it, because it looks a whole lot better than it did. So I'm gonna just watch it and see what happens.
It's like that.
This tomato is doing good. I believe this is a red cherry. It did get some fertilizer. It is blooming, so we're going to start seeing some fruit here soon. When your tomatoes begin to get flowers on them, that is the best time to hit them with calcium and magnesium so that you don't deal with too much blossom end rot. Let's see what's going on over here. I think I might have some new silks that are out that did not get pollinated. Nope, that's one that got pollen. And I have been hand pollinating my corn just to make sure that I get some ears to develop and fill out here. But I do see two that weren't open. These two were not open when I came out the other day. So I'm going to just grab some of this pollen, get it down here. I need to make sure that I'm getting the shake method is not working for me. So I like to actually pull it and drop it down. Don't chase him, y'all.
Yeah, Mom, there was a frog up front.
Don't mess with the frogs either.
It was that big.
The corn here is starting to dry up. Got some pretty decent size on some of these, and then some of them are really, really skinny. So I don't know how much pollination they all got. This one feels pretty good. I do feel some empty space inside there, but then others are a little bit plumper. So I'll be checking on the corn. When those tassels start to dry up, that is a sign that it's ready to be harvested. Excuse me. But I don't know. I'm going to just leave it for a little bit. This is the last of the corns to start to tassel and to show silks. So some of these I did get to. couple of these look like they are newly opened. So same thing. And y'all, I'm allergic to corn. So I'm going to be sneezing tonight after fumbling around with this pollen. But if you're going to grow corn in a backyard garden, chances are you will have to do some hand pollination because you just don't have enough corn to guarantee that everything's going to be pollinated. Now, your corn is going to make more than enough tassels with pollen to pollinate all of your silks. The problem is because it's wind pollinated, the pollen goes everywhere except where you need it to go unless you have a big enough stand of corn. I am going to have to get out here tomorrow. Typically, you have about 14 days from the time your silks appear to get them pollinated before those silks start to dry up. And I'm going to be busy tomorrow morning, but I will get out here to try and finish pollinating the rest of the corn on there. Lancelot. Lancelot.
He's in the neighborhood.
Oh, I was going to put him on camera. Don't go get him. Leave him alone. Everything over here, don't mess with him. Everything over here is doing pretty good. Quite impressed with so many of these things over here. I probably just put pollen in my hair now that I think about it. There are some things that need some fertilizer, but all in all, it looks good. You want to come and pick these peas? Where are your shoes? I don't want you to eat them. I want you to pick them.
All right. Stuff.
Hold the pea from this end with one hand and then pull the pea off. No, don't stick your hand through there.
This way?
Yeah, and just pull it straight out. Okay.
Sorry.
Now you got to keep doing it. Get all of these. The bigger one. This is big enough. Take these. You can take these ones that are down here too. Pull all those out. Use two hands so you won't break them. All right. The radishes. There was a radish in here I saw that was ready to come out. The radishes had a little bit of an accident. This entire tower was toppled over and laying down there. And I picked it all up and I watered it. It just looks like something came in the yard messing with it because I've never had this tower to fall before. But I can't. Oh, here it is. Is that it? There's snow peas.
No.
Got a radish.
Where do you want?
Did you get them all?
Oh, wait.
I'm gonna take them in the house. You take this radish in too. I can't find the tags, so we just got radish. Whatever
The
they
birds
are.
plant those. He's right here.
Hi, Lancelot. Hi. Hello, Lancelot. Uh-oh. Now I won't be able to get rid of him. All right, back to the Tuesday tally. I did pull some carrots and I did take some collards from a few of the plants, and we're having those for dinner tonight. This is going to be the most chaotic Tuesday tally ever. And it might be the fastest because not a whole lot has changed since my last Tuesday tally. The begonias are still looking good. I still need to get out and do some trimming on the durantas. Getting a little burn on my Helen Von Steins, but I still really love Lamb's Ear. It's doing a really nice job in this spot. I think I'll leave it there for a little while. This area needs to be cleaned up a lot. Still have some more of these daisies that need to come out. I've just been snatching them out as they die back because I don't have anything to put in their place. This rose needs to be trimmed back a little bit. It has bloomed a few times. The Dianella is still throwing blooms. They're such dainty little blooms. I'm getting attacked by gnats, y'all. That is a nice bloom. And I told you guys the last Tuesday tally, this thing was loaded with buds, and it is still loaded with buds. They are starting to open up now, finally. And I mean, it's been a week. It's taken them quite some time to open up. But when it does it, it does it. This rose is always a nice surprise to find blooms opened up on it. It has been doing pretty good in that spot, and I really thought that spot was going to be a little bit too wet for it, but I guess because of all of the other competition here in this space, it's keeping it dry enough that the rose is not rotting out on me. I need to do some tying up here of the clerodendron. This is one thrilled plant. It throws vines faster than I can trim them. I started cleaning up the philodendron. I don't know what I'm going to put in this blank spot, but I have to cut this monster back several times a year. Otherwise, everything else here drowns. The Farfugium has doubled in size since I put it in the ground. It's doing great, so I'm now having to cut that back as well. I planted a hydrangea back here 2 years ago. It pretty much died, and there it is. It seems to like this spot now and has gotten acclimated with it, so I'm interested to see what it's going to do as it gets older. I also have clematis here. That is the Hudson Bay clematis, and it's been doing pretty good since it was covered up by these other two plants here. I cut them back the other day, and we'll see what happens with those guys when they start getting a little bit more sun, see if they will thrive or struggle. These pole beans have started to flower, and so I'm checking daily to see when we start harvesting beans. I don't know if I had the leafing on the grapevines when I did the last Tuesday tally, but this past week, all three of the grapevines have started leafing out. The cucumbers down the bottom are doing pretty good. This is the Valencia orange. It's losing color, so I gotta pump it up with some more fertilizer. Oh, look, y'all. This thing is running today. And I still, you see, I was talking in another video, nothing on the LED screen lights up, so I never know what setting it's on. It lit up the first time I turned it on, but now I don't know. So I don't know how long it's running for and what the frequency is, but at least I'm seeing that it's coming on and it's watering my beans, so I'm good with that. Nothing really changed over here, just a bunch of bunching onions that are still there, and some of the basils that have germinated here. I dropped in some seedlings, love and a mist seedlings in here. Really, really teeny tiny, near death. So there's one. I don't know if it's going to live. The other one looks like it's dead. I don't know what's going to happen with it, but I figured I might as well get it out of that little seedling tray and drop it in somewhere and see if it can make it. Not a whole lot going on over here. Just a bird of paradise reaching for the stars. And you guys get to see the Swiss chard all the time. You need to get off of my plants. Stay down there. Peppers are still doing their thing. Carrots, I took a few others out along with the ones in the back, and we're going to be having those for dinner sometime this week. I'm not sure what day. The strawberries and the onions that I put in here are doing really, really good. And I mean, I really can't complain about those. I got those onion sets from Home Depot. I have no idea what type they are, but they're doing good. And the garlic is starting to struggle a lot. I don't know why, because it's not time to harvest garlic. I tried reaching around in the bottom to see if I could feel any of the garlic, and I can't feel it. Maybe I'm not going far enough down, but I'm just kind of watching that to see what's going to happen with it. This red curry squash, I am still very impressed with. I love the color of the leaves. I love, 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 love the color of these leaves. And it's not wilting as much as it was. So I think it's going to be okay. I do have some mothball water down here trying to deter the squash vine borer. So far, so good. It's still a little bit early in the season for them, though. We are still getting pretty cool in the evenings, which is usually enough to keep them off of us. But we are coming into a little bit of a heat wave in the next few days. The Rio Samba Rose and the milkweed behind here is doing good. I do have some tropical milkweed that I want to scatter throughout the garden because our monarchs are hunting for a place to lay eggs. So I'm going to go ahead and scatter some. The potatoes, you guys just saw an update on the potatoes and the beans. So I'm not going to spend really any time over here. I do need to hit these with some water. For some reason, this one and the one on this end are extremely dry compared to the ones in the middle, and I don't get it. Then coming around the front, there is a garlic here that is still doing pretty good. It's doing better than the ones in the raised beds. The flowers up here are starting to perform. Of course, also the weeds are starting to perform because it is nice and hot and the sprinklers are regular and they're happy. This jasmine, I don't know about this jasmine. I'm contemplating taking it out. It's kind of been struggling since I put it in, and every year it seems like it's doing worse and worse. I don't know. I'll think about it. It's not a decision that I'm going to be making anytime soon. This is a drift rose red that is always giving me a nice little treat. Here we planted the gladiolus corms, and we are starting to see some gladiolus come up here. And we're also starting to see a bunch of weeds come up here. It's not what we need. We don't need weeds. We want gladiolas. And so I'm going to just snatch these guys out of here really quick. Y'all know how I feel about the weeds. I'm not spending a whole lot of time trying to get all weeds out, but I will pick a few if I have the time and I see them. That's just how I handle it. The weeds are serving a purpose. We may not like them because they're a little unsightly, but they do a lot. The garlic over here, you can see how much bigger these are than the ones in the raised bed. I just think these are doing better because of their location. Of course, I can't say for certain, but let's see how this collards are doing under here. Not bad. Of course, there's some weeds growing under here under the protection of the cloche as well. Let's take that out. Let's see if I can get that cloche back down. All right, so those collards are doing pretty good. All right, y'all, so that is it. Can you see this flower? That is really pretty. That one is one of the miniature roses that I put there. And it's doing good. But that's it. That's it for this Tuesday tally. It was a little chaotic. My son said he wanted to participate. And then when I turned on the camera, he wanted to be camera shy. He's never been camera shy. So I'm not really sure what that's all about. I guess because it just became real. And he wasn't ready for real. He's not used to being on camera. I hate being on camera. And I think because he's always asking, you know, how many subscribers do you have? How many subscribers do you have? And when I first started really regularly posting on the channel, I think I had 4 subscribers. And in these past months, it's gotten up to like 140 something subscribers. And he asks me all the time. So I think him knowing that more people are seeing the videos just kind of made him nervous. But I didn't make him do it. He just, I don't know. He left eventually. It's fine. But thanks so much for hanging out with me, guys. It's been fun. I needed to stay consistent with the Tuesday tally because if I skip a week or two, chances are I'm going to end up skipping a month. And I don't want that to happen. So thank you for watching. Thank you for being here at all. If you have not subscribed, I really would encourage you to go ahead and subscribe. I really appreciate it. I'm starting to have a lot of fun doing this. So if you could subscribe, share the channel with any of your friends, especially if they're in the South Florida area. There are quite a few Florida YouTubers that are gardening. There's not a whole lot of us in the southern region of Florida. I'm finding most of them in Central and North Florida. And our environment is really, really different. North Florida is just now starting to plant their gardens because they really plant along with the rest of the country. We're a different animal. Our season is really best from fall through spring, and summer is best to take off. Yes, we can continue planting through the summer, and I will be putting in my sweet potatoes and they will grow through the summer, but you'll find that I'm not doing anything really in the garden except harvesting what's ready. I'm not planting anything new. The heat and the bug competition is just not worth it, and I don't spray any chemicals in my garden, so it's not best for me to do it. So it's good to have somebody that's in your area closer to you when you're trying to start up a new garden. So I'd love to be that person for all of you in the South Florida area, whether it's the East or the West Coast. We have very similar environments, although we might be a little bit more extreme over on the West Coast. Till next time, guys, we'll see you soon. Bye.